Well, the president has threatened to close the U.S.-Mexico border and cut aid to various Central American countries in response to the massive caravan of migrants making its way slowly up from Mexico. Secretary of Defense General Jim Mattis has also ordered hundreds of U.S. troops, about 800, to the U.S.-Mexico border in anticipation of their arrival. Roberto Hernandez is an immigration advocate who lives in San Francisco. He says he's happy the migrants are coming. He joins us tonight. Roberto, thanks very much for coming on. I don't expect to convince you to change your views on immigration. We've talked many times. I know what they are. But I applaud you for being more honest than most on the left in saying out loud what you really want. So I want to use you to inform our viewers about the aims of the left. Tell me what the justification for this group coming here is. If they wanted asylum, they could have applied in the embassy in Tegucigalpa. They're instead coming to our border. Are they claiming that they're refugees, fleeing a war? If so, what war? What is the justification for this?
Good evening. First of all, let's go to our history. You know, here in the Americas,
no, let's not. Let's just go to the question.
The world. Okay. Look at all the Europeans that came here. This was Native American land, and Europeans came here.
Okay. You've demonstrated an ignorance of history sufficient that I don't want you trying to educate us. And then I just want you to answer my question about right now, if that's okay. If we just stick to the question, what is the justification, the legal justification, for these people coming to our border and not the U.S. Embassy in Tegucigalpa?
Well, if you look at the role of the United States in Central America, in Nicaragua, in Honduras, in Guatemala, and other countries in Latin America, the United States has promoted wars to protect corporate interests in a lot of these countries. And so you have a lot of people who have been affected by these wars, and it's caused poverty in a lot of these countries. And currently there is a political climate in a lot of these countries, and people are coming here looking for refugee.
So let's hold on. No, okay, I'm going to try and take you seriously.
The United Nations is supporting. Did you know that? The United Nations is out there right
nothing
now.
The United Nations does matters to me or surprises me. But let me hold on. Let me just ask you.
Through the caravan.
I'm trying to take you seriously. You said most of them in the first caravan are coming from Honduras. What war specifically are you talking about that the United States promoted? Whose interests were benefiting from that war? And when did that war end? What are you talking about specifically?
Specifically, look at the role of the U.S. government in Honduras. I mean, we can go here all day, all night.
What war are you talking about?
Time. So I want to make sure
just give me the war. Tell me when it ended.
Understand that,
I'm trying.
Okay, let me ask you this. Do you know of any involvement of the U.S. in Honduras?
So what you're saying is you don't really know what you're. Hold on. What you're saying is you don't really know what you're talking about, but you're throwing out a talking point.
Then we need to have a show just to talk about the U.S. government's involvement in Central America and the rest of Latin America.
I'm asking you specifically, what war in Honduras are you talking about that the United States inspired that justifies this migrant caravan? What war? When did that war end? What year? What are you talking about, or do you not know?
What I do. Okay, let's look at the role of the military of the U.S. currently in Honduras.
No, but you said there was a war. So you're totally ignorant of the history of Honduras, but you are lecturing us about our responsibility to let these people in because of a war that we started, but you can't tell us what war or what year it ended. I think that's what you're saying.
And not only that, but it's the involvement of the U.S. in Honduras and Central America. We've talked about this
so obviously history is not your subject. Let's go to something.
And that's fine with me.
I'm not sure we're disagreeing.
I think I don't really know what you're talking about. Currently is supporting this caravan. Why would the United Nations be supporting and helping these people? And
not accountable. I can't imagine why the UN does a lot of things.
That the U.S. should stop Mexico from letting these people come here.
We're going to change the category to the 200 category. Let's see if you can answer this. Okay. San Francisco has now announced that illegal aliens, people who have no right to be here, will be allowed to vote in local school board elections. You live in the city. You think this is a great idea. Do you think Americans who sneak into other people's countries ought to be allowed to vote in their elections?
Well, let's look at how many white people live in Mexico. The Mexican government doesn't harass them. But let's look at.
Are they allowed to vote in elections?
Look how many people did not vote in this last election. Look at the numbers.
Okay. I would say as a performance artist, you're talented, but I just want to get at one straight answer. Are Americans who sneak into other people's countries without permission allowed, do they have a right to vote in those countries' elections? Do I have a right to sneak into Mexico and announce that I get to vote there? And if you don't let me, you're a racist. Is that a human right that I possess?
So let's get it clear. In San Francisco, these individuals that are being allowed to vote are only voting for the election for the members of the Board of Education.
Another question unanswered.
And
all right.
these people, right, should have the right to vote specifically for those who are going to make policies and decisions affecting their children.
Okay, so I asked you a couple simple questions. You couldn't come up with an answer. Text me later if those answers come to you. Okay, Roberto, I appreciate it. Thank you very much. Victor Davis, hands